on tight to the feeling, but it's a roller coaster in my head. So I'm holding myself on a precipice, and I've been dreaming off the ground. So I'm looking for something that's definite. I'm praying you don't let me down. It's gotta be all. It's gotta be all or nothing. All or nothing. Oh, it's gotta be all or nothing. All or nothing. It's gotta be all or nothing. It's gotta be all or nothing. Or nothing at all. Hold these doubts like the playing cards close to my chest. Turn them round for the river and hope it's something that I won't regret. So I'm holding myself on a precipice, and I've been dreaming off the ground. So I'm looking for something that's definite. I'm praying you don't let me down. It's gotta be all. It's gotta be all or nothing. All or nothing. Oh, it's gotta be all or nothing. All or nothing.
All right, here we go. MSU versus Seneca College. We haven't taken a look at the standings. Why haven't you? They were just on your screen. No, this is an important matchup over in the West Coast Division. Seneca and MSU currently tied at 3-3, and tied with UCSD going into tonight as well. We did talk about at the end of that Toronto series with Chike about how and Kara, excuse me. But we did talk about how the UCSD UCLA appears to be a forfeit right now, going UCSD's way, and that would bump them up to 4-3 in the matchup. And I realize I have misspoken here. Seneca looking for the kill. Go back to the standings once this fight does wrap up, as Raretown will end up going down. And Amatsu to follow. Seneca grab a couple of kills here. We are 15 minutes into this game. Anyway, just the context for this game to wrap it up before we do get more heavily into the game is that Seneca is slightly out of position right now, but the three-way tie for fourth place is between MSU, UCLA, and UCSD. UCSD apparently winning that game in a forfeit today puts them up at 4-3, and MSU gonna need a win here to keep pace with just one more match remaining in their season. Tied for that fourth place spot, that last playoff qualifying spot over in the East. The MSU Giant Rat picked up for the axe, its signature hero. Finds the call on to Destiny. Fatal Bond dropped over the top as well as the Golem. Gonna pick up a pair of kills for MSU, and it looks like should just be a third. So very nice response from MSU there after losing a couple of heroes in the top lane. Punishing Seneca for sticking around a bit too long. Seneca's looked like a strong team, stronger than their MMR would suggest this season, as one of the lower rated teams in the division, but able to take down some of these top teams and able to take games off of them as well. It's been a lot of fun to watch this Seneca team throughout the season. And technically not out of the playoff hunt yet for them either at 2 and... Were they 2-4? I believe. Yeah, they're 2-4, right? So gonna make me double check that one on the fly because all of a sudden I'm not confident in my assessment there. But yeah, they are indeed. So technically not out of the playoff hunt for themselves yet, as a pair of wins to close out the season could potentially throw them into the tiebreaker mix for this fourth place berth. So an important game for both of these teams, MSU and Seneca. MSU after that last fight win up top, up to a 5k net worth lead. But Seneca setting up to defend this mid tower, and OD in a lot of trouble. Caught by the arena, caught by the ice blast. Then he caught in the Wukong's command as well. Giant Rat did his best to disrupt things with the blink, but not able to do so, and well, he might just be going down as well. Promo. Some nice zoning there. Actually gonna get his axe out of trouble. Should end up falling. Guys, don't forget about this. Abaddon left in the mid. They will find him. And Captain with the Mars. As the Yule's gonna find an extra kill in the Warlock. TP coming through from the Jug, actually thinking about getting involved in this fight, but might just be feeding his own life. Still run back to the tier 3 tower, and the 3-man call. Giant Rat's back in on this one. Still gonna get speared up to the tree. Held back the Omni Slash coming through at all. MSU, they're looking to turn things around. They will lose Giant Rat, and now Double Lift might have Omnied him, slash himself out of position. The healing ward left onto the tower and keeping him healthy for now. Amatsu, this fight's gone so long, he's TP'd back into the mid lane on the OD, now looking for more damage onto Oscar. Promo's back alive and TP'd in, and he'll end up taking down the kill. As punishing the overextension has been the name of the game for MSU so far since we've tuned in. Seneca just over-chasing a little bit for these extra kills. It ended up costing them. They'll lose one more in the Mars. Spear to hold him back. The Captain doesn't really have anywhere to go. Blink Dagger still being worked on. The Upheaval Slow will end up catching him. It's a Midas Warlock, by the way. I want to do a little around the horn. Please give me some space to check out what these heroes have got, because I've tuned into this game just mere moments ago as well. Looks like we might not get that opportunity, as in the mid lane once again they're going to go. Call comes through, and Seneca, they still want in on this act. Save comes through, but Amatsu now put himself in a lot of danger to get there, and they'll end up losing one, maybe even a second, as Giant Rat and Tower Shots are going to find him, and eventually, well, he will be run down. Alright, do we have some more space now? Can we talk about what these heroes do have on them? It's been just about non-stop action since we joined them. Kind of ironic considering the low kill score when we did first tune into this game. But taking a look over at the net worth, it looks like Kunk has been struggling just a bit in this game. Double Bracer Blade Mail and headed towards the Aghanim Scepter, so is a build where Kunka can find himself resurging into this one and continuing to have impact despite the low net worth. Is 1-4 as well, but looks like his team not feeling too bad for how it's going, as he has enabled their farm in the meantime. And Monkey King, a carry we don't see too much nowadays. Maelstrom Diffua into the S&Y as well, just brought out. Gonna be hunting, looking for the Juggernaut. See if they can't chain him all the way down. The stuns are coming through, the Ice Blast as well over the top. The spear ends up catching him into the fissure. Not exactly into the arena walls like he was aiming for, but hey, Captain will take it. Kills off the Jug. That was a 6x streak on Jug as well. MSU's lead, we watched it grow up to 5k now. Stalled away down to just a measly 1,000 gold lead. Dunk in the mid with the Blade Mail with the bow. Gonna keep himself alive for a long time, and Oscar with the TP in. He'll take down Amatsu straight away, and Giant Rat in with the jump, in with the call, but he's not gonna find much. Still Oscar inside of the Wukong's command, has the bonus armor to deal with. Warlock threw out the golem in the meantime, but not gonna be able to find Giant Rat X'd up. Still underneath the tower, looking for the spins, looking for the damage. Giant Rat's a hard one to take down. And they'll end up losing all 5 heroes as the fight really split up, and Seneca surge into the lead of this one all of a sudden. I mean, this is crazy pace. Like, absolutely crazy pace coming through. You can see the MSU win probability. Like, look at this.
It's under attack.
I don't know why it was up so high to begin with, but they've just fallen off a cliff the last couple of minutes, MSU. Need to settle it down, take a breath, and get your way back into this game. We see Giant Rat starting to fall off the pace in terms of the farm, and sitting at 1-4 on the act. been a little bit of a struggle. Generally, we see Giant Rat on this act having, you know, beautiful game after beautiful game after beautiful game, but this time around, Giant Rat has been struggling to provide the impact even after acquiring this Blink Dagger. Yeah, double lift. That death up in the top lane was his first of the game as well. Still farming up nicely just behind the Monkey King at this point. But at some point you have to wonder about the OD pick, where this is going to go, because you provide some good right-click damage, but once the BKBs do come through for Seneca, and they will come through, I mean, Monkey King doesn't have one yet, he should at some point be going back for it, right? But once the BKBs do come through, the OD does lose a lot of its potency. And Amatsu, we've seen him struggling in recent times in these fights, so it's not an OD playing from far ahead. In fact, it's an OD playing straight from the middle of the pack. Hasn't been providing the map pressure that the damage output would suggest he could. Meanwhile, as well, MSU did get a couple of their signature heroes this game, namely the Abaddon and the Warlock. Two more heroes that this team absolutely loves to play. You see Rare Talent with the Midas actually ends up overtaking Giant Rat here just 24 minutes into the game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
This Warlock going to continue to be a nuisance later on in the game, and we've seen what this Warlock hero can do in the hands of Mississippi State with the Fatal Bonds, with the Upheaval. Unfortunately for Rare Talent this game, there's a lot of AoE spells that can just clip the Warlock accidentally or on purpose. Blink Call in the mid lane. They're going to find the Kunkka, and the Seneca team not really responding to this one, at least not in time. They will lose one. Think about the jump, but he ends up getting clipped by the little imp sent forth from the Warlock. Giant Rat will be able to extricate himself from here. Husker down in the bot lane. Trying to set up towards double lift, but without the team here, it's simply not a kill that you're able to go for on the Monkey.
Radiant are scanning.
So he'll jump his way through the trees back towards the wave. Smoke play coming through though. Mississippi State, they're finding the wraparound onto Husker. The Blink Call, it is going to catch him out. Now Amatsu starting to pump in with the damage percentage clipped as well. They will take him down. Giant Rat falling low, falling low. Ice Blast not going to connect forward as the save was there. The Astral doing a nice job, and the Medallion as well. They will be able to take him down eventually as Earthshaker with the Blink finds him. Now Captain's in with the Arena with the Spear, looking for the damage, but the heck with Slam. It comes through and doing so much, but it's not enough to... The save did come through, and Amatsu able to get himself out with the Blink Dagger. Now the Omni Slash on the backline. It's on to two, and it's on to two heroes only. Captain able to find the Spear and keep double lift at bay, but meanwhile in the front of the fight, Destiny engaged himself, looking for the kill onto OD. Amatsu staying alive. Medallion and the Aphotic Shield giving him just enough HP to work with to get himself out of there, while the rest of the team clears up Destiny. Hey, gonna be able to escape to the side. But a resounding team fight win coming through from Mississippi State. Matsu hunting forward. And Captain very boldly standing inside of these trees, gets himself back out to the base. So in this game so far, we've seen MSU's ups and downs and ups, and hopefully no more downs for them, at least. That's what's going through their minds at the moment, is they'll look to keep control of this game this time by taking the Tormentor. Shard picked up for Giant Rat. So 27 minutes in, we're about even on the kill score, but the net worth graph has swung pretty nicely in the hands of Mississippi State's favor. See the Aether Lens completed for the Warlock, and this is a big pickup this game. I don't know if we've seen Rare Talent actually pick up a Aether Lens, honestly, ever when I've seen him play this Warlock hero. But I love the build-up this game because, like I said, there's a lot of AoE damage that can just clip the Warlock, you know, whether he's showing or not, in the Spear, in the Fissure, in the Torrent Storm when it comes through, as the Aghanim Scepter is completed. Husker jumps forward boldly towards the high ground. Amatsu is there to hold him back with the Astro, but we'll end up getting that first ult proc onto the Abaddon, and now Giant Rat forced to find the call. Try and save Amatsu. Amatsu hitting into the Blade Mail, but taking significant damage to do so. Eventually does run out, but the Blink Echo Slam on the backline from Luz. It's beautiful. Take down a pair. As it will end up finding a kill onto Amatsu, but not enough to go forward. And Captain even showing in the mid lane, able to cancel that one out with the Eul Scepter. So Seneca jumping a little bit boldly towards the high ground. Only end up finding the OD. Well, they do lose 3, including the Kunkka. Still, they're thinking about defending this mid-tier 1 tower, which is still up at 28 minutes. They'll have to let it go. Husker set up in the trees, but the Wukong's command going to be on cooldown. They'll have to settle it out. It's a very interesting build-up, by the way, for the Monkey King, as no Aghanim Scepter, doesn't have the BKB. He's got just a lot of small items that let him get involved early, but ask some questions about what the scale is going to look like later on into the game. See what he does decide to go for next with this 3,500 gold he's got in his inventory.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Smoke play comes through from MSU. Right now just baiting out double lift on the Juggernaut, but not an easy kill for Seneca to find still. They will drag Captain up to this one. It's a little deep up for a kill, so MSU thinking about whether they want to go or not. The Fissure to hold him back. The Captain actually stuck out in the trees. The Eul Scepter gonna dodge for now, and the arena dropped over the top. Captain trying to get himself out of there, and don't tell me he lives through this one. That would be insane. The Astral is gonna connect onto him, and the blink forward finds a pair of kills for the OD before he gets himself out to safety. MSU, just a great connection there, and for the moment, it looked like Captain might be able to escape to the safety of his tier 2 tower, but it's enough damage to be thrown out from MSU to find the kill without committing too far forward at the same time. TP's down to the bot lane, as it looks like Roshan gonna be the next target for Mississippi State. They'll make their way down to the pit. This one will be the first Roshan of the game. Looks like it should go without a contest from Seneca as well. So Age is going to go into the hands of the Juggernaut. Butterfly completed Aghanims as well, as we saw in that last fight. Has the Swift Slash online. This is honestly the most terrifying time to play into the Juggernaut, is once this Aghanim is freshly online, before, you know, too many defensive items are acquired over on the other side of the river. Ghost Scepter picked up for Destiny. Gonna try and counter out the Omni Slash that way. Kunkka, pretty tanky hero as well, so not the easiest target to take down, but Jug, plenty of attack speed, plenty of damage with this Butterfly in hand.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
With the Aegis as well, gonna be an absolute raid boss. As MSU, for now they'll just control up the enemy triangle, make sure Seneca can't really exit the base. Right now the only hero on the map is Husker on this Monkey King. Did see him pick up the BKB. So we're gonna have the fresh 9-second BKB to play with in this next team fight, but fighting into Aegis, it's never gonna be a fun time. Matsu with the Scythe of Ice queued up as well.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Love this build up on the OD, just looking for that additional control. Drops out the Astral, but pretty deep one onto the Mars.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Seneca, they're gonna need a big hold here as MSU, with all the outer towers taken down, ready to go up towards the high ground. Double lift, gonna be X'd up. The Astral. They'll keep him safe for now. Giant Rat looking for his angle in. BKB available and online for the axe. As this Giant Rat feels more like the Giant Rat axe that we all know and love. Always looking to jump up onto the high ground to find the call.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Husker was able to take down the tier 2 in the top lane. In the meantime, so not forced back by the MSU push. Good job by him to stay active on the map and continue getting the farm up as well as putting pressure on the objectives. It's going to force MSU away from the base, then relieve that pressure put on Seneca. Able to escape off the high ground for the time being. Captain out of the mid lane. Could get caught, however. Quick on the blink, but Amatsu's right on his tail. Giant Rat ready with the call as well. He'll just walk up and, well, the Yule's going to be dropped down onto him. Puts the blink on cooldown as well. Captain turns it with the spear, but now the blink call comes forward from Giant Rat. Looks like there's no interest from Seneca. That's double lift even with the Swift Slash on the backside. Takes down the Apparition. With a pair of kills, MSU going to be ready to go up, back up to the high ground. They'll actually head in via the bot lane. Make their way down there. Just about everything online for MSU as well. Matsu blinks up onto the high ground, finds the imprisonment, but team a little bit too far behind to capitalize on that catch. Double lift on the back, though, with another Swift Slash, finds just another kill. Omni Slash dropped over to Destiny with the Ghost Scepter, trying to drag him all the way back inside of the Fountain Wave. Not quite going to push him back into the base. Double lift able to spin out of danger and start to go to work on the tier 3 tower. Ice Blast going to be dropped over the top, into the boat, into the Storm, but the Swift Slash keeps Double lift out of danger. The Warlock Golem going to be dropped onto everybody. Now Amatsu with the BKB, he turns and look at the damage coming through. Husker trying to do it all, but he can do nothing as he just goes down. And Seneca College left in shambles, trying to hold this base, trying to do what they can to defend, but simply out of rope at this point in the game. Rags do fall. Drag back double lift, but might just drag him back into your own death as Ghost Scepter going to be stunned up. Destiny goes down. Apparition as well did get caught out. MSU thinking about just going for the tier 4 towers here. They feel no need to continue playing this game. Aegis will be reclaimed, but double lift, another round of the Swift Slash is ready. They'll find the kill. This game all but over. The buyback comes through from Husker as well. Still going to be a 3 versus 5. Aegis has timed out. Double lift. Spins and looking for the Ancient. And the Hex comes out over on the side onto Husker. Double lift continuing to work on the throne while the team caught inside of the arena. Caught inside of the upheaval, I should say. On the other side, the throne will fall. The celebratory call over the top as well. MSU had a bit of a rough patch there in the middle, but end up taking game number 1. We'll be joining game number 2 shortly as well, as I'll try and hop into that lobby. So stick around. We'll be back very shortly with game number 2 of this series.
Whenever you need my love, need my love. Whenever you need my love, need my love. Whenever you need my love, need my love. I'll never let you down. All my life I will be there for you. I'll always be around when you need someone to carry you. If you're looking for someone to hold, I'll be there to pull you close. I'll never let you down. All my life I will be there for you. For you, I walk miles to get to you, babe. I don't know why I can't see you there. I've tried to get there, but every day I'm harder. I don't mind being right, even when we got it wrong. I kinda like making it up as we go. And ever since the second grade when you first caught my eye, I knew you were different in all the ways I like. And I won't hide that I'm right, even when we got it wrong. But why you keep playing? We're not the same man. This subtle little light, the common ground is shaking in your eyes. If you could believe me, let's jump in the deep end. We'll jump in the deep end, yeah. I said, hey, we don't need to leave all of the differences aside. You and I feel right. I said, maybe we don't need to leave all of the differences aside, 'cause that's what makes it right. I'm nothing like you, and you're nothing like me. We don't agree, and that's what makes it right. I'm nothing like you, time that you think it's gone too far. We come a long way, and I know that it's only just begun.
All right, we are back with the draft. MSU versus Seneca. MSU taking game number 1. We are into this game number 2. Talked in the beginning of game 1 about the, or not the beginning, I guess, the middle of game number 1 about the stakes for this game. MSU needing a win here to force, well, not quite to force, but in order to stay on even footing with UCSD. I haven't actually dug into the tiebreakers behind this, as wasn't sure what was going to come out of tonight's three-way tie for 4th place. Right now it's looking like UCLA did forfeit their game against UCSD, so UCSD getting the free path to 4-3. MSU trying to follow, but Seneca not quite out of the chase yet, down at 2-4 themselves. Still could end up at 4-4 with a win here and a win on Wednesday as well. So big game for both of these teams, MSU and Seneca. And you can see the draft already well underway. These teams have been flying through the draft. We're going to see another Giant Rat Axe. He loves to pick this hero, and going to go with the Shaker again as well. They did pick up a Witch Doctor first, so MSU going to be happy about that one. All three of these heroes really do fit the style that MSU likes to play. They like to play this up-tempo. Witch Doctor really fits the support that they like to play. It's kind of like the Warlock. You channel from the backline and do very significant damage, not this time with the slow, but with Death Ward. You're able to put that on top of Giant Rat Axe, who always seems to carve out so much space for MSU, and gonna drop the Faceless as well. Now, with a couple of melee heroes, slightly awkward with the Chrono, but they're gonna do what they're gonna do, and if you're able to get the Death Ward outside of it, maybe pick up an Aghanim Scepter on the Witch Doctor, why not? You have significant damage to put into the Chrono as well. And over on the Seneca side, I mean, their lineup seems pretty bursty, pretty strong early on. They've got the Kunkka, out of that first pick spot, and they followed it up immediately with Techie's Zeus, 2 big magic damage nukes, and we'll see if they decide to put the Zeus into the mid lane, or if this is going to be a support Zeus and just look to put tons and tons of magic damage across the board. And really, we'll see how that shapes out, maybe even with this next pickup here, as their fourth pick is going to set the direction of what they're doing with their team. Be interested to see if we do see the carry here, seeing the complete offlane of MSU with the Axe and the Earthshaker most likely. MSU still with some flex potential, could send the Shaker to the mid lane, could even send the Witch Doctor to the mid lane, though I would not expect it. But out of Seneca, I'd like to see a bit of a tankier carry, something that can make up for this weaker backline support that they have drafted for themselves.
Radiant team back.
They'll go ahead and pick up the Jakiro, so we are going to see Zeus tossed over into the core role, and that clarifies a lot of questions about Seneca's draft. So Zeus into the mid, Kunk into the off lane most likely, unless we're going to see some techie shenanigans. Early concern about whether they can deal with the Chronosphere on Seneca, but
5 seconds remaining.
that's kind of always a question that you're left with against Faceless Void, so I think that's the ultimate question their draft is going to have to address going into this last pick phase. And going to be looking for a carry pickup for Seneca over on the MSU side. More likely than not looking for a mid laner. Just getting some last details about the UCLA UCSD matchup or forfeit that was going on here, and I do have the confirmation here. UCLA did forfeit that game, so officially UCSD the first team up to 4-3 in this battle for the overall 4th place in the West Coast Division. Just trying to squeak their way into the playoffs. And UCSD, I mean, I'll save it because I'm sure I'll be casting their game next week, as they will still need a win in order to put themselves in sole possession of that 4th place slot, regardless of who wins this game, actually. As, Seneca would have potential to tie them up should UCSD lose. But UCSD was a team that really got off to a slow start in this league, and this forfeit win for them is actually massive, as I think UCSD are still trying to find their identity. So at the same time, they're not getting to play more games together. They're not getting to find that cohesion that their team needs, and it's full of skilled players. They just need to come together as a team and figure it out. But at the same time, they get the free win. They get a win against a UCLA team that has played good Dota early on in the season. They haven't played a game in a couple of weeks between forfeiting games themselves and actually claiming forfeit wins. I think it's been like 2 weeks or so since they've actually played a match. Like 3 straight series have gone the way of the forfeit for them, either for or against. But they were playing some strong Dota early on, and UCLA, they're not a weak team. So it was going to be an interesting matchup tonight, and it was going to be kind of a turning point for the UCSD season, whether they won or not. Either they were going to lose and things were going to kind of spiral for them, or they were going to win, and that would have bolstered their confidence going in towards this last round of the regular season, towards potential playoffs beyond. And now we'll have to see how it goes for them, especially into this last week of the regular season. But looking back into this matchup, like I said, it does just heat things up a little bit more, as MSU, they're going to want to win here. They're going to want to tie up UCSD, and they're going to want to fight for that 4th place spot.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm actually kind of interested at this point what that last round matchup does look
5
like.
seconds remaining.
See if I can't pull that up. It would be very fitting if they played against each other, but oh, look at this actually. This is maybe even more interesting. This is a brutal one. So MSU is paired up against Team Dawnbreaker in the last round, and Team Dawnbreaker is... Are they playing? Are they out for the season? I can't actually remember. They might still be playing. Looks like they have claimed a forfeit win this week. So they are still playing. They are down at the bottom of the division at 0-6. So MSU up against IE with a game that feels like they should be able to come out ahead on. And
5 seconds remaining.
UCSD up against UBC, who is the top team in the division, 7-0 at the time. At this time, 1 match left for UBC to go undefeated. It's against UCSD, who might find themselves in a must-win position going in a week. So I am super interested in how this is going to turn out. That's going to be a phenomenal matchup, and all that does hinge on MSU taking this series today. But they've gotten off to a good start. They're up 1-0 here in the early going, up against Seneca. See the last pick, Tiny, come through for Amatsu, coming out of the mid lane. Yeah, very, very excited. So MSU, if they win this game today, they put themselves in very, very good position to qualify for the playoffs. Let me just say that. I mean, it's no guarantee, right? There's still some things that have to happen, but a win here today puts them in prime position. It would be theirs to lose, I think. It's fair to say. The MSU's playoff berth to lose if they are able to take this series over Seneca. And they looked strong in game number 1. They had a few shaky moments, but I like their draft here in game 2. They're on heroes that they like to play. This is Giant Rat Axe, this is Promo Witch Doctor, this is Rare Talent Earthshaker. And Amatsu, he's shown to be very flexible out of this mid lane as well, and a very strong player in his own right. Meanwhile, Seneca, I mean, they do have heroes that they like to play as well. Captain playing the Zeus, it's very much a hero that fits into his wheelhouse. But they're running the Slardar carry, right? They're running the off-lane Kunkka. Feels like they may have been forced in a direction that they don't necessarily like to play all of their games in. So MSU, game number 1, I think they've done a good job making Seneca feel uncomfortable. They turned up the pressure, they turned up the pace onto Seneca. And this is how Seneca is going to respond, trying to force a game number 3. And this is essentially an elimination game for Seneca, by the way. I mean, I know I talked a lot about MSU in this game just because of the tie-break potential going on, but Seneca with the UCSD win tonight means that if they lose this game, they are officially eliminated from playoff contention with 1 week remaining in the season. So this is a must-win game number 2 for Seneca if they want to stay alive here. force game number 3 and force a win from there as well. But gonna need the reverse sweep in the best of 3, and then a win next week or a win Wednesday, excuse me, not next week, to stay on the path towards the playoffs. Looks like both teams here are going to be huddled up on either side of the river. Generally, I feel like we see MSU actually on this this high ground side. But the horn will sound. We will get underway. Game number 2. Seneca in a must-win position. And Husker runs into a couple, starts getting run down by the Battle Hunger as well. The tree throw comes through, and the last click is found. Giant Rat ends up netting the kill.
That's what happens when Axe gets his hands on you.
Not the best of starts for Seneca, but it is what it is. And looks like it's actually going to be Destiny on the Kunkka, so headed towards the safe lane here, and Husker headed up to the top lane. Still, I suppose this is a carry Slardar just taken from the off lane, at least most likely. I haven't covered too many of the Seneca games, so not sure what they like to do with roles in this sort of situation, but I'd imagine they're not doing any position 1 Kunkka shenanigans, and instead we'll see Husker taking over the farm. But in terms of the mid lane matchup, Tiny gonna have a pretty good time. This was overall last pick on the Tiny. Matched up into Zeus, saw it coming. Still falling a little bit behind in terms of the CS, but as this lane goes, Tiny does have pretty good damage, and I was gonna say he should be able to find denies on these range creeps, but has struggled with it so far. So I think this is a very nice game for the Tiny to just feast on Zeus. Kill after kill after kill. Once he does get the Blink Dagger and gets later on into this game, of course. So something to keep an eye on, but the lane should be rather stable and stationary, as Matsu will be content to farm up on the Tiny. Captain will do the same. He'll get as much farm as he can out of here with the Arc Lightnings and look to get involved in kills besides. Maledict up on the top lane, not going to be enough damage to take down the kill, but some nice harass put onto Slardar. As you can see, the MSU heroes both just super high HP. Considering the state of this Radiant lane, the Coconut going to bounce through as well, finds the extra bounce on the Husker, and Promo just being annoying, just being a nuisance. Trading on top of the range creep as well is a very nice job from Promo. Just squeaked the extra bit of damage coming out from the creep wave. Coconut not going to bounce towards the techies, so Promo no free kill with the Maledict. And head down to the bot lane, because who doesn't want to watch Giant Rat Axe? You know, Giant Rat keeps winning on Axe, and teams keep letting him have it. Man absolutely loves this hero. And for good reason, too. He plays pretty damn well on this Axe. Some good trades going through, and the Lotus does go Shaker's way as rare talent. Able to secure that one for the team. Giant Rat continuing to punch away as well, dodging out the dual breath. Both of these teams just ignoring the creep wave in the bot, but who cares about that when there's kills to be had? The Fissure doesn't get dropped down, and it is rare talent. Making his way back to the base. Courtesy of Destiny. Giant Rat clubs Destiny with the spin, why not? Came up to eat a tango, but ended up eating some harass instead. Look back into this mid lane, now it is Amatsu finding the damage, and now the toss back onto the creep. A nice flip comes through in the mid lane. Captain keeping that creep alive, make sure he doesn't eat any additional tower shots. So he looks to maintain the HP against the Tiny. Water Rune's going to go one apiece in the lane, and it's a slight level edge for Amatsu as Wave is pushed in for Captain. Still about as we expected here in this mid lane. I think maybe a few less denies for Tiny than I was expecting, but otherwise all is well. Jordan can be dropped down onto Giant Rat. No mana for the dual breath, but still trying to run him down regardless. Destiny with the right clicks. Looking for the damage of Tidebringer off the creep wave. Giant Rat trying to juke it out. He will get out of range, so he'll escape. And now Rare Talent looking for the couriers. Not gonna find him, those body blocks do come through. Nice job from the Jakiro there. And up top, Loose with the blast off, finds the kill onto Promo. Does end up taking him down. Double lift with the crush. Can't time walk off all of the damage. Still able to remove a fair bit underneath the tower. Husker's gonna chase him and double lift in some trouble. It's just the level 1 time walk, so not gonna be available, but still with the TP coming through from the Witch Doctor. Not gonna be able to chase forward for any more kills. 2-1 here early on as both teams finding farm in the lanes. Things going relatively even across the board. As funny enough, things are actually going relatively even in each lane to a different extent. There's significantly less CS on this bot lane as both offlaners go toe-to-toe, and up in the top, each of the carries is going to be finding some pretty decent farm for themselves. Loose made the rotation in the mid lane, secured the rune, unfortunately not able to grab it for his Zeus, but snatches it out of the hands of Amatsu. Down in the bot lane, the X up. Caught Rare Talent and the Thunder Gods. Will secure the kill. Captain gets himself onto the board. It's Giant Rat, able to walk it off. Matsu thought he might be going for the combo there, but just looking for the deny. Three to 1 here for Seneca, and a pretty decent start for them considering they got the overall last pick Tiny through to deal with this Zeus matchup. Zeus farming fine and has 6 denies on the Zeus, by the way, 7 for the Tiny. Who, with the extra base attack damage, I mean, it's surprising that he doesn't have more. Up in the top lane, Husker going chasing for Promo. Looks like the bash will be enough to take him down, and not going to burn out to the Maledict either. He's going to continue farming up in this lane. Rotation on the backside from Amatsu. He is in the river. Finds the connection on to Techies, and that's all he'll find.
Straight to the bottom with you.
Husker able to get himself out.
Dire's middle tower
Looks like he might just, well, he's still turning around.
structures are fortified.
Thought he might be headed back towards the base, but just making the circuit. There's a pretty idea with the fissure there for Rare Talent, excuse me. Ice Path, gonna be off the mark. Destiny looking for the angle on the X, and he looks like he might have got vision juked. Somehow didn't find the X. Torrent boat, but no X dropped down to Giant Rat. He's out of there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Some TP rotation coming through from Techies as well. Oop. Kill down in the bot lane. Promo finishes the rotation, not only finding the kill onto the Zeus mid, but also finds the kill bottom, and now trying to set up another one. The Maledict dropped down on Destiny. This time not going to find the kill though. Matsu wants more blood, making his way up back towards the top lane, spots out Husker. Oh, gonna be off the mark slightly. Avalanche still gonna connect onto him, toss back, but not very far. Now double lift, able to pop the Chrono out. Damage is gonna be there with the Matsu outside of the Chronosphere, or is it? Maybe not. The blast off comes through, holds him back for now. The coconut bouncing around. It will eventually be enough. A very awkward one there. But it ends up being a double kill for the Faceless Boy. Double lift, very happy about that one. The first chrono used to perfect it. As Captain zaps off the kill in the bot lane. Oh, Destiny, the Death Ward, it's doing enough damage. Oh, he's getting taken down. Just barely finds him. Win able to secure off the Shaker besides. All of a sudden, 6-7 this game. Slight net worth lead for MSU, but nothing to write home about. Avalanche dropped over on the Captain. Gonna hold the toss for now. Matsu starting to fall low. The blast off gonna be dropped down. Captain completely out of mana here in the mid lane, and the toss back gonna keep Loose at bay. TP through from Rare Talent, bottle refill not in time. In the meantime, Giant Rat able to avoid the kill threat coming through from Seneca. Feels like everywhere we look, there's kill threat. Left, right, and center. These teams do not want to slow it down one bit. Who could blame them? Husker up in the top lane with the siege creep. Looks like the kill was to be at bottom instead, as Giant Rat was taken down. Still Husker. Thinking about going with the siege creep. Coconut bouncing around makes things a little bit awkward, and gonna be forced to retreat. Destiny getting to work stealing some stacks away. Win will connect on the Jakiro as well. Giant Rat boots working towards the blade mill and suffering in terms of the net worth just a little bit, but then again, so is Captain, headed for that first item phylactery, but starting to fall off the mark a little bit as Matsu takes over the top net worth spot. Kill up in the top lane. So the Thunder God's Wrath set that one up nicely. Husker ends up the only one alive. The trade kill was on for the techies, but nice find on the Faceless Void there, as it's important to kind of slow his game down. Captain going to be able to secure a haste rune as well. Avalanche dropped over. With the haste, Captain gets himself out of danger. Loose is in on the techies, has the blast off coming off in just 1 second. We'll use it, holds him down for now. Amatsu trying with the toss, trying to get himself out of danger, but Captain with the haste rune, he's so goddamn fast, so goddamn annoying. Takes down one kill, see if he can't get another one with the right click, does take down the pair. Promo in the mid lane now, in some danger as Husker with the Guardian Sprint through the river. Made it on time, and Promo falling low will get bashed down. Giant Rat made the TP. There's so many heroes in the mid lane, but it's all one by one for MSU as Giant Rat will again fall. Ends up being a 4-for-1 trade. Techies for the world. So MSU now the tier 1 tower under threat. Avalanche from the backside. Amatsu just with a TP finds the enemy mid laner. Picked the wrong time to grab some water for myself as a pair of kills across the board. And just the freebie on Tiny. That's not a good kill to be given up, by the way, if you are Zeus. It's a hard one. Put yourself in such a good position. That last team fight. Macrofire dropped down on top of the X-Mark. Amatsu still caught out inside. The mines as well. Gonna do some extra damage, gonna remove some of the magic res as well, and second mine will be more than enough. Loose takes down the kill. The tip did come through from Captain for securing that one, but still, you think of what could have been if they didn't give up the extra kill or two in the mid, Seneca. Could be even further ahead. Is up top again. Husker chasing down Double Lift with the Thunder Gods. Man, you blink and you'll miss it. Look away from any lane for a second and feel like 3 heroes are dead. Captain making his way back to the mid lane. They were smoked up, headed towards top. They wanted to gank the Faceless, and, well, the team's not even needed when Husker can just take him down solo. Tier 1 tower will fall in the top lane.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Promo hanging out by the tier 1. Wanted to set up. Captain is aware of this one. Knows where the enemies wanted to be playing.
Dire's bottom tower is under
He'll keep himself safe, but still wants to hold on to this mid tier 1 tower. That's why we see him hanging around still. But with the Blink Dagger on Amatsu, you have to be oh so careful. Didn't actually clip him with the Arc Lightning, so Blink was still available, just not a great angle for him to go. Rare Talent hanging around as well. Gonna set up with the Fish of the Toss as well. Destiny down to about half HP, but with the Blade Mail able to keep playing, and well, they'll find themselves the kill onto Earthshaker instead. And now all of a sudden, Promo caught out up on the high ground. This is an awkward place to be when the team has to get out, and he'll be cleaned up as well. A pair of kills going Seneca's way up to a 4,000 gold lead. And really, all of it's coming off the plays being made by the Slardar. Husker up to 6-2. Echo Saber ready, has the Blink Dagger as well. Top net worth by a mile, by the way, on this Slardar. As Faceless can only dream about finding this level of net worth. It's still working towards the Maelstrom. Matsu in the mid, Avatos. They'll find him, but he is X'd. Matsu gonna be caught out by this one, into the mines, into the ice path, and into the grave. Rare Talent had the slam available, but not enough to hold him back. Now instead can be caught by the X mark. Will eventually be dragged down as well. Seneca strong in this one. They pinged out Promo as well. They saw him off that Thunder God's Wrath. He's trying with the Shadow Amulet to hide. They have him pinged out exactly where he is. They know what kind of game Promo likes to play. They'll put out in the bolt and they'll take him down. What a read there. That's pretty stuff. That's confidence as well, by the way. They knew that he was there
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
for, you know, so long. And it's absolute confidence to not expect that you got juked. Instead, oh yeah, we know where he is.
In the way.
Was he underneath the ward there? Yeah, it looks like he's underneath the ward actually, so I'm just insane. The first bolt was off the mark. I saw this ward placed down after the fact, and I thought that this was a post-kill ward, but RIP. It's okay, you know. I'll call it confidence. It was really the vision game. But I'm just a silly core player when I play pubs. What do I know about wards? Captain Invis behind, and no sentry placed down. He'll get out of this one scot-free. A very dangerous place for him to be roaming, but instead getting tons of vision for his team. And now Husker with the blink. Looking forward for Amatsu. This is a huge kill on the Tiny if they can find it, but it's one tanky guy. Still getting bolted down, dragged away from his team, and it looks like with 3 heroes surrounding him, he will be taken down. On the backside, the support is wrecking havoc as well, as Promo was taken down by the combination Techies and Jakiro, and Husker with another blink coming up. Thought about going forward, but will be forced back. Still another 2 kills going Seneca College's way, and Husker not quite done. Looking for double lift, gonna find the amp damage, gonna find the crush, the bash. It's all coming together now. Not gonna be able to block him off actually. A time walk, able to get through the low ground in the zoning. Chrono gets double lift back up to his high ground safely. Slightly mistimed the stuns there, and they'll miss out on the kill. It's a big reprieve for MSU as well, as their map continues to be closed down, but they had to expend the Chrono for it. Matsu, the Avatos, should find them a kill onto Jakiro. Does drop down the Macropire before he does die. Promo eats a couple of mines as Luce grabs the amp damage rune. Promo's hunting for him. Gonna drop the Maledict, drop the Death Ward as well, and Luce up to the high ground. Not gonna save him, as he will eventually get ticked down to the Maledict. On the back, Captain does clean the kill himself. loose. Yeah, he does eventually get burned down. Amatsu tried with the blink forward onto Zeus, but instead, looks like Zeus might have found them. Husker in with the rotation as well. Perfect timing for Slardar to grab a couple more kills. Well, looked to be a little bit of a nothing jump. All of a sudden, Husker turns up with this blink dagger and grabs a couple more. And it looks very reasonable for Amatsu to go forward onto that kill, but ends up just left behind, and we see the problems that you have when your Shaker doesn't have blink at this stage of the game. You want to get involved so desperately, you want to drop these Echo Slams, even if they're just onto 2 heroes to hold people back, but just picking up that blink now, we saw him walking into the fight last time, and that might have made the difference between Tiny living and dying there. But Rare Talent really feeling the squeeze from MSU being so far behind. 8,000 gold behind now, and you can tell the supports are really paying for it. Tormentor gets snatched in front of Promo's eyes, Shard over the way of Techies. Pretty nice one to have this game, actually, by the way. You can drop it onto an ally inside of the Chrono with the Taser, and it's really annoying for Faceless to deal with. Even when you do get BKB, you just keep proccing the magic damage from the Taser, and there's not much to do about it. So a very nice one to have for free in this game. If you're just tuning in, MSU did win game number 1 in pretty convincing fashion, but game 2's been all Seneca. So 20 minutes in and a 10k net worth lead their way. Husker really just putting in work. The X-Mark Torrent, they're going to find Amatsu underneath the tier 2 tower. Blink Echo comes through, but it's not going to hold back in time to save the kill, and now Rare Talent put himself in a dangerous position. That's an Aghanim Scepter on Kunkka as the Torrent Storm going to work already. 20 minutes into the game, that's early. Kunkka's so farmed. He came out of the safe lane playing that off lane Kunkka, and he's up second in the net worth. 4 kills for Seneca here in the mid. They'll make their way straight up the high ground. To hell with it being 20 minutes. They've got a level 16 Slardar with Aghanim Scepter, and they're not afraid to claim their advantage here. They'll put down the Techies mines and all to bash down this tier 3 tower. Get to work on the Raxus. MSU are spawning here, and they have that second glyph from the tier 3 tower going down. The team will TP forward, but Seneca not thinking about backing just yet. Matsu TP's into the ice path. Husker, a clean bash onto Faithless Void. Trying to sprint away, now caught out by the Maledict, caught by the Death Ward, but not taking enough damage. The Chronosphere, it's going to be on to 2, and they'll find Captain on the Zeus, and that's a good find. Not able to jump into that Chrono loose. And now the Avatar's on the back. It's on to 3 people. Techies trying to get out of there, and he's stuck in the trees, but the Fissure blocking off from everything. Husker, though, now starting to go to work and starting to clean out. It's 3 heroes dead for Seneca, but Slardar's healthy and alive for the time being. See if the call can't change things, and it looks like it will. The 4-man Torrent, they're going to lift up into the boat, but not going to matter as MSU, they'll hold. And they'll hold with a team wipe as well, as Seneca just ran themselves a little bit out of real estate up at the high ground. Couple of points there after they lost heroes where it looked like MSU might just not have the damage, but ends up being just enough to take down all the heroes from Seneca. Very, very ambitious early high ground from them. No Aegis to work with, and 22 minutes to boot as well, so gonna need to just pump the brakes a little bit on Seneca here and reestablish themselves in this game. Amatsu found the blink onto Captain, the tree throw. Oh! Will get taken down by the Fissure. He's like 8 HP for a second, and he very nearly got away. That would have been absolutely brutal. Down in the bot lane, though, Destiny hunting, not able to find the kill, but the crush does come through, and Double Lift now in a lot of trouble. No TP to work with. Gonna be caught by the ice path. The bash coming forward as well. BKB will not help you here. Burned down by the Macro Fire as the Aghanim Scepter for Jakiro, providing that extra damage. Husker again just all over the map this game. 11 and 3 on the Slardar, despite throwing up the high ground. Seneca will be claiming Roshan. No contest coming through from MSU, as they're not going to be in position anytime soon. This first Aegis is going to go the way of Seneca. Most likely into the hands of Slardar as well, who very, very hard to take down, sitting at 3,500 HP inside of the puddle. With the bonus regen. With a bunch of armor. I mean, it is so annoying to try and take down the Slardar here. It takes so much effort.
Radiant's middle tower.
One way they can do it on MSU would be through the Witch Doctor, through the Maledict Death Ward combination. Always a potent one. Still, just level 10 on promo, so level 1 Death Ward to work with for the time being. Really want to see that get to level 2. And he'll be able to put some threat onto these cores. But still, gonna need to see another big fight or two from MSU. And when you talk about big fights from MSU, first hero you think of is Giant Rat on this axe. Blink Blade Mail working for the BKB. He's gonna need to put in some absolute work. Double it, forced to BKB to get out of the mid lane. We'll make it. But it's more resources expended by MSU, and this time, when Seneca think about the high ground, they'll have the Aegis to work with for Husker.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
No tier 3, of course, to work with in the mid lane. Was taken down during that last high ground speed from Seneca. Husker comes forward, 3 hits out of promo, nearly kills him, gets the Voodoo switcheroo off. Still, he's going to land into the Ice Path, will be taking down the Macro Fire. It's going to catch on to 3, and even Giant Rat blinking into the Ice Path. The Echo Slam put down over the top, but there's just no damage. Buybacks come through from MSU. It's 2 in Amatsu as well, but Husker still interested in running behind the tier 4 towers. Double left with the Chrono, catches on to 3, but again, where's the damage? Can't even take down the Jakiro. As Win living through all the ice paths, gonna catch on to Amatsu. This is the buyback, trying to hold him, trying to keep him alive as Amatsu needs to get out of there. Falling low, and will be taken down. Dieback for the Tiny. And the Harpoon gonna catch on to Faceless as well. Double lift goes down. Ends up being 6 heroes dead for none. To go with the 3 buybacks from MSU. And now the Rax getting bashed down. Seneca proving that they're in command of this game. Up to a 15,000 gold lead. Aegis still in their hands. They'll even have another Torrent Storm to work with once the Faceless Void does respawn here. Husker, he doesn't want to wait that long. 3 hits onto the Witch Doctor is all he needs. Dodges the call even, and now looking for Rare Talon. Zeus to provide the vision, and he'll go down. Husker, 2 more for his name. 15 and 3 on the Slardar, as it really has been the Husker show. And Seneca, well, they needed to force a game number 3 if they wanted to stay relevant towards the playoffs. They needed to force this game number 3 in order to not just give up the series, not give up the playoff chances here and now. And, well, they're going to do it. This game all but over. MSU smoked up to the side, trying one last hurrah here. Still gonna have to contest into the Aegis. Smoked up over to the side, Namatsu finds the angle onto Captain, but it's the shield really ball comes through, but just to get a Tiny out of danger, and Giant Rat will end up dying for it. It's dragged back Matsu as well, and that should just be the game. MSU not a team to call it early, but this one's certainly looking over. As what could you categorize this one as but a stomp? Husker hanging out, waiting for the kill, and Captain ends up grabbing it. But Mega Creep's acquired, tier 4s. Next on the list, Husker, 40 more seconds on the Aegis. willing to burn the HP, tank up these tier 4 towers to end the game that much quicker. After a brief foray towards the fountain, Seneca will think better of it and focus on the objectives instead.
You don't have the sign.
The toss comes through the Chronosphere onto Captain and won't quite be able to find the Zeus. Will eventually find the Zeus. Now Husker in some trouble. The Aegis just gets it off. Now the blast off over the top, and you got to deal with a full HP Slarder spawning back in. They'll start with a toss into the Avalanche, but not going to have enough Death Ward channel on the backside. But Husker able to take him down first. Still 3 heroes dead for Seneca, but will you be able to take down the Slarder? Tiny throws him up in the air. Still chasing forward for Husker, and he's getting controlled, getting bashed. Now double lip going to town onto him. See if he can't take down the kill first, and Husker just punches him in the face. Does take the kill.
Straight to the bottom.
Does go down at the end of it all. But with the Mega Creeps acquired for Seneca already here, 30 minutes into this game, feels like it might be nothing more than a death rattle. MSU are able to secure the team wipe. But they're going to really, really struggle to defend against just the Mega Creeps, let alone once the Seneca heroes do respawn into this one. Seneca looks like they don't want to waste any time as heroes do respawn and they make their way straight up to the enemy half of the map. Can't even really call it enemy half of the map. It's really their half of the map. I think both halves are firmly in their control. 16k on the net worth lead and 18 kills ahead. See if they want to wait for one more timing as the trifecta of wisdom runes picked up for Husker. Cool 3000 XP. See if they don't want to wait out that next Roshan. Just make sure there's no throws or counter throws coming. Saw the Aeon disc up on the Zeus as well. He's done getting killed off during the Chronosphere. Done getting killed off during the Avatos combo. Look at it. It's an Atos up for the Jakiro as well. So you thought it was annoying dealing with the Macro Pyre with the Aghanim Scepter. Well, now you gotta deal with the Atos as well. Over on the other side, it doesn't look like there's really any items coming through that are gonna be the difference makers. Xmark gonna grab double lift. Will keep him safe for Husker. Ready to jump in. One hit onto promo. Needed the second one. Got off the Voodoo switcheroo. And again, Husker's just in on the backlines, going it down. Double lift with the Chrono on the front. Does find the supports and will take both of them down. Husker has gotten out, but Destiny's in with the boat, with the Torrent Storm, and the Blade Mail. Looking to put the damage on a double lift. They have the X mark. No BKB to work with for the Faceless Boy, but able to time walk his way back up to the high ground. Just barely hanging on right now are MSU, but the Mega Creep started to work on the base as well, and it's Giant Rat caught out on the front. 3 heroes dead, no buyback, and it looks like Husker will just be able to take this one down. Into the fountain he goes, looking for the damage, looking for the kills. Careful not to overdo it here, but it looks like they won't, not nearly enough, as the rest of the heroes will be taken down from MSU. The Ancient, the only thing left, will be going down as GG, well played is called, and we will go to a game number 3, this MSU versus Seneca series. God, I love getting game number 3s. I'm so excited. Oh, these logos are awful. I'm actually so excited that these teams are going to it. Been talking all season about how Seneca's a team that really does have strong showings every time they play a game. and they have really strong showings, and then they still manage to lose. And they're down to 2-4, but they've won so many games. They've lost so many series 2-1. You know, they kind of got rolled a little bit in the first game here against MSU. They had a couple of good moments, but then overextend. They overchase kills. They get a little bit ahead of themselves, and you can see why they are losing some games, why they are losing some series. But this Seneca team is one that plays well beyond their, you know, MMR, well beyond their seeded ranks. And I think they showed in this game number 2 that they're definitely a team to be reckoned with. And game 3, well, like I've been saying all along, this is make or break time for really both of these teams. Seneca, it's their last shot towards making a playoff berth. Nothing guaranteed, even if they do win today and on Wednesday. And meanwhile, MSU want to win today to put themselves in a good position as they move towards Wednesday to close out the regular season. Still will have a shot if they would lose today, but their road becomes much more difficult to get towards the playoffs. Where if they do win today, then on Wednesday they are in a win and in scenario. So excited, but we're going to have to take a short break before we do get into game number 3. Stick around, as this one is shaping up to be a pretty good series. And game 3, well, I'm looking for it to be not a stomp in either direction, but a close game where both of these teams show what they've got. So stick around. Make sure you do stay for this game 3. It's going to be our last game of the night, and we'll see you in just a few minutes.
Got drunk off your life, and I lost myself again. You hit it just like a drug. This time I won't let you in. You're playing with fire. No, I didn't I'm the prey, but this time I won't collide like I did yesterday. You broke my heart once again. I won't buy the dust in return. I can't give it, I can't give it, I won't give it this time. You broke my heart once again. With your breath and your bad for me. I can't give it, I can't give it. I've already run with the wolves. Far from the light of the day. I can't go back to you. I'm stronger today. Been to the dark side, I don't know. So if you wanna shoot far away, I won't go back to you. I'm stronger, I'm stronger, I'm stronger today. I'm stronger today. encima para enloquecerme, pero voy a draw the line. Que yo ya sé que de ti I got to stay away, got to stay away. Sé que como un trofeo quieres tenerme, pero I don't need no one. Que yo ya sé que de ti I got to stay away, got to stay away. No, 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 baby, no, 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 no setbacks. No, 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 baby, no, 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 this time. You broke my heart once again. I won't buy the dust in return. I can't give it, I can't give it, I won't give in this time. You broke my heart once again. When you bad, but you bad it for me. I can't give in, I can't give in. I've already run like the wolves, far from the light of the day. I can't go back to you, I'm stronger today. Been to the dark side of the moon, so if you wanna shoot far away, I won't go back to you. I'm stronger, I'm stronger, I'm stronger today. I'm stronger today. There you were on the other side of the room. Place was filled, but all I could see was you. You're magnetic, captivating, and you know it's true. Sent a smile and you started to make your way through. The crowd, it grew so loud. You and I didn't even care. I never wanna get used to the sound you whispering in my ear. I've loved you since I met you. Did I ever tell you that? I tried to push you out, you pull in. I fell hard so fast. There you were on the other side of the room. Place was filled, but all I could see was you. You're magnetic, captivating, and you know it's true. Sent a smile and you started to make your way through. The crowd, it grew so loud. You and I didn't even care. I never wanna get used to the sound you whispering in my ear. I've loved you since I met you. Did I ever tell you that? I tried to push you out, you pull in. I fell hard so fast. There you were on the other side of the room. Place was filled, but all I could see was you. You're magnetic, captivating, and you know it's true. Sent a smile and you started to make your way through. Pray for me,
All right, here we go. Game number 3 draft underway. We are in the second phase of bans, and well, after that game number 2, you can tell Seneca are feeling themselves right with this first pick Zeus coming through, and I think there's a pretty good chance that this is a Captain mid Zeus again. I know they're picking it with the potential to flex it, but I think Captain is, you know, feeling pretty good about how he played that game number 1. There was a couple of moments there where really he did shine on the Zeus around in the mid lane and was able to get a pretty good game for himself, coming off not the best laning stage. Still did pretty well in the early laning stage, and then started to suffer a little bit, got very much more involved with the Thunder God's Wrath kills, and allowed Seneca to play that more up-tempo draft, more up-tempo lineup, and really punish the Faceless Void early on. So I think there is a good chance that, you know, Captain's gonna claim this one for himself, and basically free up his draft to be more flexible, and most likely they will leave the position 4 open, at least until this 4th pick comes through, and they'll always have the potential to flex the Zeus back to 4 if they do have a bad matchup. And I think MSU aren't responding to this the most appropriately, taking positions 4 and 5 here. Excuse me, as it can lock in their draft a little bit. These 4 and 5 are relatively versatile, so it's not shoehorning them in too much. But I'm never a fan of taking 4-5 in your first 2 picks, because it can force you down an avenue where you want to pivot your draft away from your initial idea, and you kind of lose that option.
5 seconds remaining.
You know, at this stage. And it's not the biggest concession to pick 1 support first, pick a core, whether it be, you know, off lane, safe lane, whatever, and then pick your support in the second kind of block of picks, right? One of the heroes that has been, you know, completely ignored this series, I believe, is the Sven. And Sven is one of those carries that you can pick as, you know, your second overall pick. And I think be reasonably happy with it as well. So, you know, just something to keep in mind there. But Seneca, they go straight back to the well with the techies as well. If it's not broke, don't fix it. See what they will take with their 3rd pick, as they are spending quite a bit of time here. Down to about 30 seconds of reserve time. It's early on in the draft for them to get here, but I've always said that this, you know, 3rd pick, the second phase of picks, is really where the direction of the draft gets set. And it's going to be MSU setting the tone here with the double pick, with this overall last pick as well. So Seneca looking to be prepared, looking to have a pick that kind of encompasses their style, but also maintains the flexibility that I was talking about, with maybe having the Zeus potential to rotate over to support. It looks like they're going to throw that out the window and toss Zeus over into the mid lane straight away. They'll pick up the Ogre.
Dire team pick.
Ogre's not a hero we see a lot of, actually, and MSU just going to snap pick their heroes. Centaur Wraith King. They see that Seneca down to 11 seconds reserve time, and they're going to put the pressure on. This is something we don't see very often in Dota drafts, is, you know, picking quickly to put pressure on your opponent to make a snap decision, especially for something like this 4th pick. And MSU, they get strong laners out of it as well, and they get good partners for the Venge and the Grim. Really have potential to put Grim in either lane, but Inkswell with the Centaur is a very potent combination in a safe lane that your support's going to be an Ogre Magi. I mean, it's not the most lane securing support in the Ogre. Seneca respond with the Ursa, so we'll have at least some counterplay against the Centaur, but it's going to be a very scary lane MSU brings to the top lane.
5 seconds remaining.
And Giant Rat going to get to flex a little bit more than he has in the first couple of games on Axe. Even though Axe is one of his signature heroes, Centaur going to exert a lot more lane pressure, especially with the Grimstroke support. I think this is a very potent combo, and I'm excited to see it play out.
10 seconds remaining.
For a second, I was worried that the teams were flipped, but they're not. They're appropriately placed. In case you are just joining us, the quick recap, MSU took game number 1. We joined that one late, around the 15-minute mark, but MSU, after a little bit of a wobble, were able to get things back under control and secure game number 1 pretty handily, but game 2 was all Seneca. Led off by position 1 Slardar, who went, what, 15-3, 16-3, and just, absolutely rolled the game from the 10-minute mark onwards. It was all Seneca.
5 seconds remaining.
Now we're here into game number 3. This game, huge implications on the playoff. That 4th position in the West Coast still up for grabs. UCSD with the win today in good position, but if MSU also come through with a win, they'd be tied with UCSD, for that 4th place slot, and be in a win-and-in situation on Wednesday against IE Dawnbreaker. Seneca not out of it either, with a win today and a win on Wednesday, with some help as well. With UCSD losing on Wednesday, they would have a shot at the playoffs. Not too sure how the tiebreakers would line up in that situation, but we'll look more into that one on Wednesday, should Seneca win this matchup. So go ahead with the last pick, Tidehunter, try and just be stable against the Wraith King, and understandable in this one, the minus armor coming through and the skeletons. Tide should be pretty stable, put a couple of points in the Kraken Shell and just kind of exist down here. Go for early Shivas this game perhaps, or pretty much just exist to get levels to get farm. MSU, lots of reserve time left, and they're going to be taking a mid to go toe-to-toe against the Zeus. They went with the Tiny last game and is still in the pool this one. See if they decide to go back to that well, if they go for something else. Incidentally, it's really not the worst Tiny game in the world. They could just go straight back to it, and I'm sure it's on their radar, as Amatsu does play it. I mean, it's a hero in his repertoire. The question is whether you want to pick a hero that you just lost on to a very similar draft setup with the Zeus Techies. Like I said, it's not a bad thing, but mentally, can you get over that hurdle and say it wasn't the matchup that lost us that game, but it was, just how the game ended up playing out. We'll play it better this time. Or if they'll go, a completely different way. Me not being a mid lane player, it's hard for me to tell exactly what they're going for. It feels like so many mids nowadays are viable and strong that they're kind of a dime a dozen. Pick your poison a little bit. Could go for the Lina potentially. I don't know too much about the Lina versus Zeus, but it seems like you get this 3rd range score, you get some extra right-click damage. Could even go the magic build if you really want to try and just blow up Ursa. But you have 2 big melee beefy boys, and Lina behind as a turret could always be worthwhile. MSU gonna use up all their reserve time as they'll think over this decision. They'll go for the Dragon Knight. 3 tanky cores. I'm a little bit worried, actually, MSU. Taking 3 melee cores against Ursa. I mean, there is the caveat there of Ursa against Wraith King is kind of meh, because with the Reincar you have options, and, basically all 3 of these heroes are considered to be Blink cores. The Dragon Knight, the Wraith King, the Centaur. All going to be looking to get on top of the Zeus, but I think they can have some problems finding the angle to find the Zeus on the backlines without running into Tide and Ursa on the front. And if they are not able to get past this wall that Seneca are able to put up, Captain could just have a free reign game to do all the magic damage he needs to off the backline. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup now. Dragon Knight should be pretty happy in the lane against Zeus, as with the Dragon's Blood you basically have enough regen to sustain against anything, and later on he'll be going for the Mage Slayer as well, I'm certain, so he'll have that to fall back on as well. So an exciting game number 3 coming up. In terms of whose draft I like better, I'm tempted to say Seneca, but the MSU supports just feel so good to me this game. Grimstroke Venge to go with the Centaur, to go with the Wraith King, like, ooh. Feels so juicy. But I don't know. I mean, I think I would rather play on this Dire side, on this MSU side. I think the execution might be a little bit harder to find the Zeus on the back, but in terms of the support play, it feels very natural, and the lanes should go pretty well, I think, for MSU, as they just feel so strong on these supports. But in game number 2, we did see Luce on the techies get a lot of work done, not only in the top lane, but also in the later stages of the game as well, setting up kills in the mid lane to boot. Smoke play comes through, MSU gonna be headed down towards the bot lane. This time making the incursion into the jungle. Not staying put, but making their way down. They're gonna run into the Ogre. They actually kind of backed up, but Ogre continued running forward as now all of a sudden holding the high ground. The double stun gonna come through, but they have more than enough control. So the hoof stomp comes through, and Giant Rat claims the first blood. They'll run as 5 towards the mid lane as well and try and secure some extra bounty runes here, leaving Centaur behind. Take the bounty rune. The 4 heroes headed towards the mid and headed towards this top river bounty rune. Amatsu even able to hold the skill point for now. As it will be 3 runes for Mississippi State to go with the first blood they were able to pick up on the Centaur. This game 3 going to get underway in this round 8 West Coast regular season matchup. Not used to it being round 8. It's the first time in NACE, I think, that we've had a group larger than 17, or larger than 18, excuse me. Used to a 7-round game. You know, in fact, I think the only exception to that would be the season that we had, the Swiss format, when it was one big group. That was like 3 years ago at this point. That's crazy how long ago that was now. But time flies, you know? NACE definitely not what it once was, but hopefully we can get back to it at some point. That all starts with these games. We work towards the playoffs of this 2024 spring season. Matsu. Some nice harass in here, and this mid lane going to be even more stale than the previous game, I think, as DK will farm, Zeus will farm. No one will really do anything to each other, and eventually 6-minute runes will spawn and we'll see some action, but for now, I think we can pay some attention to these side lanes, as bottom perhaps going to be the most interesting of them all, Ursa against the Centaur. And again, they run this Venge 4. This is the second series today. We saw this in the Toronto Georgia Tech series as well, where Toronto ran Venge with the offlaner instead of the Grimstroke. Techies gets run down up in the top side. But anyway, the second series of the day where we see Venge run in the 4 slot over the Grimstroke put 5. I'm a huge fan of this Grimstroke put in the offlane. The Inkswell set up with your offlaner who's got this AoE stun in the hoof stomp. You can just set up pretty much infinite chain stun. Take kill after kill after kill. It is harder to connect on the Inkswell with the Wraith King. The Wraith Fire Blast to set it up. You still can do it, don't get me wrong, and they do already have a kill up in this top lane for Mississippi State. But it does just surprise me that teams do this. Down in the bot, Giant Rat, the Fury swipes. Starting to mount up onto him, the Earth Shock to slow down, but Promo has the hold back in time. 6 stacks will hurt, but no real threat onto his life. As up top, they're able to take down the Wraith King. Underneath the tower, no less. And actually, this is no points Gush, too. He's got whittled down on Wraith King. Crazy. I don't actually know how that happened. I looked away because I thought this lane would be pretty stale, and instead we see the kill come through for Seneca up here. It's the last kill I would have expected to come through. Even behind the solo kill in the mid. Speaking of the mid, it is just about dead even. Amatsu one extra deny here in the mid. Putting that Dragon Tail to work. Oh my goodness, up top again, double lift. Just going forward, and he'll get burned down again. And the tips are going to come through, and maybe rightfully so. Double lift. No reason to be dying up in this top lane against the Tide with no Gush. Those are rough deaths to give up as the carry. Gonna be hard to come back from there too, and don't forget MSU, they know that this series has these real playoff implications, so dying twice like that in this game number 3, Double Lift's gonna be feeling the pressure here early on in this game. Just 7 CS for the safe laner. Compare that to Ursa's 20 up against the Centaur. Chasing forward, stacking up the stuns a little bit here in promo. Burned down by the Ignite, slowed down as well. Giant Rat, he's trying with the body block, but Destiny able to get around side, and with the boots, able to run him down. Giant Rat now potentially caught out forward. No hoof stomp to work with, the slow. It's not going to be enough as Win, well, he doesn't even have the Fire Blast to stun him if he wanted to. Not even if he had the mana. Up top, don't tell me it happens again. Double Lift falling so low, and see another tip come through. It was one more CS the Double Lift was able to get, traded half his HP pool for it. And Husker now with the point in Gush. Looking to get active but loose, just about out of mana, so things might just slow down going forward. Still, it's 9 denies for the Tide Hunter up here. Top CS across the board as well. Husker having a dream of a time here. Destiny on the bot lane. Able to wand up, and now turning his attention over towards Promo, who's falling low. Even salves up to the side. Absolutely love this play. The aggressive salve to stay active and look for the kill on Devenge, and he will just have it as well. Or maybe... Oop, the Aftershock. The Earthshock, not able to find him in time, but we'll run him down. Love that salve over to the side. Komatsu with the TP. Level 6, but Husker still finds the kill. Oh no, it's an absolute disaster for Double Whip. This is horrendous for his game. Komatsu will find the return kill. But with 1 assist Tide's way, it's not going to find the killing spree. Oh no, Double Lift TP'd in the mid lane as well. This is a level 3 Wraith King. TP'd in front of Zeus. This is not where you want to be as Double Lift. He's going to get burned down out of here. Excuse me. Still don't have the cough button set up. Real unfortunate. Captain was a little bit low mana, so not able to just burn down the Wraith King straight away, but surprised he's not looking to get more chip damage onto him, as it's a very large opportunity for Captain here in the mid. Take down a lower level, lower HP hero than he's accustomed to facing in the Dragon Knight. I think Captain is really, really misplaying this one, letting him get away with absolute murder on the MSU side, as Wraith King is finding farm, he's finding CS and denies here in this mid lane. And meanwhile, up on top, Amatsu is putting pressure onto Husker, who is forced to sit away from the wave. He took some extra damage. Had 3 points in the Anchor Smash as well, as he was getting aggressive in this lane, but just means he's not able to stand up to the right-click harass. Very awkward, I think, for the Seneca side. Just not used to this move, and Amatsu is just planting himself in the top lane. Gonna put some pressure on the tower as well. With the siege creep alive, Feels confident to do this, even tanking up the tower. Keep these range creeps, keep the siege creep alive.
Are fortified.
Promo even making his way up towards the top. They do successfully keep the siege creep alive. In the mid, Wraith King does go down, the tips coming through. Still, I think Double Lift has gotten significantly more than he bargained for out of the mid lane, so still going to be a win for him. Husker hits the level 6, has the Ravage, he's going to pop it straight away and loose. Looking to make something happen, but Dragon Knight's a hard kill to find. So force the defensive Ravage, does keep himself alive, and now in comes the rotation from Captain. Looking to get involved here, Amatsu. He's hunting them, but not able to find it. Dragon Form will expire, but MSU able to escape back to the safety of their tier 1 tower. So things will stabilize now. Tier 1 tower did fall to MSU up in the top lane. Double Lift has acquired his level 6 as well in the mid lane, but another rotation this time from the Ogre, trying to take down Double Lift, at least that first wipe. Force out a couple of support TPs. Captain not able to burn him down, but trying to get away actually, taking some extra damage. The magic missile was nearly enough rare talent. Not able to go underneath the tower to find the damage, but Amatsu with the blink, freshly picked up. What a reveal. Finds Captain underneath the tower, now pops the Dragon Form. He'll find the second one in the Ogre, and trying to make it a third. Tide Hunter did make his way down here as well, but no Ravage to work with. Still able to get underneath that tier 1 tower, and with the rotation coming through from the Ursa, will hold back Amatsu. And what a great blink reveal coming through from the DK. Very timely there. Take down the Zeus, who was sticking around, trying to pump in that last bit of magic damage after narrowly surviving the gank. Or rather, more like the TPs. Coming through to save the MSU carry. Do see Double Lift has the Radiance queued up, and with the buffs, 2 Radiance, the extra evasion, it's pretty significant, and it's a pretty good item build-up on the Wraith King. The only question is whether or not he's going to be able to complete this in a timely fashion. Sees bottom net worth of the cores, but still, all things considered, could be going significantly worse for Double Lift, if I'm honest. 0-4, did have that Reincar popped at the end of the day. But just about 400 net worth behind the Zeus, who has also been struggling to find his farm. I really do think that Captain could have taken more advantage of a level 3 Wraith King appearing in his lane when he's a level 6 Zeus. He could have just ended the game there and then, I think. I think one more kill on the Wraith King, and it just proves that he has no lane. He can't go up to the top lane. He can't go to the mid lane. And he's not even close to having the net worth needed to go to the jungle. At that point, you'd be looking into something like a recovery Midas and really just being content to suffer for the entirety of the game. Meanwhile, Ursa would look to come online earlier and earlier. We can see Destiny going for this Diffusal Blade buildup. Will be hitting this timing rather shortly as well into the Blink Dagger, as we've come to expect from the Ursa. I will say, in MSU's defense, Ursa doesn't have the easiest time going this Blink buildup, even with the Diffusal Blade. Because there's not a lot of targets for him to really go on. You don't want to jump onto the Wraith King, you don't want to jump onto the DK, don't really want to jump onto Centaur. If you jump onto Venge, there's swap potential coming through. Like, it's pretty awkward. Not insurmountable for sure, and Destiny will still look to have impact, especially early on. You can jump onto some of these core targets that are a little bit more awkward as long as you've got the team in the area, but just not the most straightforward game for Ursa to play with this Blink buildup. By the way, Amatsu with this Blink build, this early Blink build I should say, is no Mage Slayer, no Bracers even. Just straight Blink on the DK. Still managed to have the top net worth in the game. Brings out a pair of Bracers as I'm saying it. Now going to be the tanky DK that we all know and love. And he made impact happen immediately with that blink pickup. So it's not like he got this blink and didn't have an effect on the game with it. Instead, you can see him getting stuff done, and he'll continue to as he chases down these supports. The Soulbind up on the top. See if they can't throw anything onto it as the magic damage actually nuking through him. The Thunder God's Wrath takes down a kill, and now Amatsu stuck between a rock and a hard place, or stuck between a rock and a Zeus perhaps, but able to run his way down towards the low ground. MSU will lose a pair of supports, and even the DK as the extension from Captain with the Arcane Rune burns him down. 3 kills going their way. They'll lose just the techies for it as Seneca up in the lead now, 9-6. It's right after DK grabs those bracers too and is feeling strong. Just takes so much damage, and you can see Zeus doing 2,400 damage here. 12 minutes in, that's a ton of damage. Now, some of it's slightly inflated because of the Thunder God's Wrath hitting targets not involved, but a lot of damage to be doing in an early game fight like this one. MSU, here comes the response to swap play. It's going to be on into the Dragon Tail, into the Hook Stomp. Destiny able to turn it around with the Enrage. Trying to find Giant Wrap before he does eventually go down. One more hit will do it. Now Destiny trying to make his way down towards the low ground, but the Wave of Terror will take him down. Trades out 1-for-1 for now, and it looks like the second kill is going to go their way in the techies. As Luce does go down. Captain showing up towards the side of that fight, but realized he wants no part of it. He'll jump his way back underneath the tier 1 tower as maybe thinking about holding on to this one, Seneca. With the Zeus behind the tower, not too content with just giving it up for free. So we'll even see Husker make his way from the gate to try and hold on to the bot tower. But in the meantime, Double Lift, he's been left alone up here, and still the bottom net worth core, but not suffering as much as he was. Something to keep an eye on. Destiny looking forward for Amatsu, but the swap out keeps them safe. Now the Raven. Inkswell is going to wear off, and Destiny wants in, but it's going to be Captain on the backline. Kind of out of mana. The Arcane Boots coming up, and needs just a little bit more, but Amatsu able to find the blink down to the low ground. Still, they lose the Venge. And Destiny working forward for more. They'll find Wraith King, who TP'd into that one, and I talked about how he wasn't struggling as much as he was before, as long as he was getting that free farm in the top lane, but TP's in, gets involved, but just ends up getting involved with a death. Extra fine, perhaps. Amatsu was trying with the Dragon Tail, but not quite able to take down the kill as the Ancient stack ends up taking down the techies. Now it's Amatsu in a lot of trouble, getting run down on top of that not to be spawned Tormentor. Will end up going down the Stampede. Not in time to save him, but maybe thinking about the turnaround as MSU charge up the high ground promo. Has the swap available, will swap back win on the Ogre, but ends up getting jumped on by Ursa instead, and Husker ends up with a kill on the Tidehunter. They'll work to take away this Ancient stack as well, as between Zeus and Tide, they'll have more than enough damage to take it down. Rare Talon trying to contest, but gets broken down as well. Thunder bolted over the top and ends up being Destiny with the last hit on that kill. And things going from bad to worse for MSU. Really struggling. It's going to be another Ancient stack taken away. This is the recovery mechanism as well. It's not stacks that they take all that easily, to be honest. Centaur and DK probably would have to team up to take them for MSU, but still, you're not going to be happy injecting that gold into the veins of Seneca. Out to a 5,000 gold lead. You can see Tidehunter being an absolute menace with the Mage Slayer, with the Vlads. Just going to start to walk at heroes. And at this point, it would take so much commitment from MSU to take down the Tide. It's just one more hero that you have no business killing. Luce ends up taking down the tier 1 tower in the top lane. It looks like towards Roach they go. Destiny queuing up those extra attacks. They'll have an early one here, 16.5 minutes in. Ursa doing his thing. He even has the Morbid Mask to work with. This is the Ursa of old here. Taking the Roshan with the Mask of Death. . this Aegis timing is not too soon for them to go try and take tier 2s as well. I mean, for a lot of teams it would be here 17 minutes into the game, but with a Tide Hunter, with the Mage Slayer, with the Vlads, as well as an Ursa with the Blink Dagger in hand, it's go time for Seneca. And it's hard to contest into this if you're MSU. This is a Wraith King still looking for that Sacred Relic. Only about 150 gold off of it.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
But it really does feel like DK's your only hero on the map at the moment, and no desire to hold on to this tier 2 in the top lane. They're just going to let it go. Farm up the map besides.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Giant Rat as well, kind of struggling in the farm department. About to be overtaken by his Wraith King, which in a normal game we'd expect to see, but when Wraith King's having this poor of a game, really does feel like you need to be making some plays, be making something happen on your other lanes. Giant Rat just not in a position to do it either, and it puts really the entire game on Amatsu's shoulders. Gonna try and finish off this Manta before getting involved, but look at this. Destiny's gonna find the go, double lift in a lot of trouble. Reincarn gonna be popped, but no way he's getting out of here for a second one. The loop through the triangle. Finds him again, double lift, 0-6 on the game, and it's going to be one he'd like to forget, but one he's going to remember for perhaps a long time, as MSU were feeling good about their playoff chances going into today. Still will have the chance, depending on the results of games coming up on Wednesday, but losing this one would make the road a lot harder. And again, Seneca thinking about the high ground here, this time 18.5 minutes. Even earlier than game number 2. Now remember, game 2, one of the few weak points Seneca had was going for this all-in high ground. They took the tier 3 tower and then they lost all 5 heroes, just overdoing it on the high ground. Need to make sure they don't repeat the mistake again, as they will run up. Destiny this time dives to tier 3. The Ravage can be dropped out as well. The takedown Ben being well, not going to stun anybody, as the blast off from the top is going to catch on to 2 as well. The buyback comes through. Promos back into this one, slots Destiny underneath tier 4 towers, but this is the Ursa with Aegis. They still trying to burn him down the one time. The one extra right click comes through. He's still living in front of it all. Meanwhile, Amatsu getting brought down low and has to run back towards the fountain. Destiny still with the Aegis in hand, still has the wand to work with. He's able to get himself out of there. At least able to get back to the fountain is this Dragon Knight. But doesn't really want to blink in here, as 2 heroes on his team dead. The tier 3 tower's fallen as well, and the range racks being wailed away on will actually fall. Wraith King's still dead for 10 seconds. Aegis still in hand for 2 minutes for Destiny, but not thinking about backing off. They will burn this one out, and now the question is, have Seneca stayed too far? Amatsu on the back line doing a lot of damage. Versa with the blink forward is going to find the Fury, swipes onto him, and he will just fall. Finds no kills for his trouble. That's 45 seconds. No buyback for the Dragon Knight. And Seneca just going to turn their attention back onto the Raptors. Giant Rat this time in with the Inkswell, but still can't find anybody. They will eventually bring down the Ogre, but trades out Giant Rat's life for it, and Destiny still looking for more kills. Still finding more kills, by the way. As Husker all the way towards the fountain. It's 20 minutes in, and Captain's fishing him out of the fountain with the bolt.
You're doing very well.
4 heroes dead for MSU. Midrack still the target, as it's so early in this one. And you can't go for tier 4. You can't go for tier 4s 20 minutes in. You simply cannot. They'll realize the error of their ways and head towards top, but you don't really even want to be tanking up this tower. 21 minutes in. MSU are spawning, as Seneca, once again, can overdo it here. They are up 14k, but the hook stomp is going to catch on to the Stampede as well. The Inkswell going to be dropped out of Monty, looking for the kills. This time, Ursa falling low, caught by the Soulbind. Do they have any stuns to throw on for the blast off? Going to hold back all 3, and Luce doing a phenomenal job getting his team the hell out of there. As MSU, they're starting to crumble apart. Reincarnation going to be popped and pegging up some power shots. Captain going to be silenced up, and he will be brought down. Destiny thinking about jumping forward for more, but will finally think better of it. TP his way home. At the end of it all, they will just lose the Zeus. An amazing job there from Techies to hold back the team, and it looked like for a second they might just get wiped off the face of the earth. Seneca, and this blast off coming up just does a great job turning it around. Eventually they do lose the Zeus for their troubles, but Seneca needs to be more than happy with the fact that they're able to get out there. This is a scary team to watch, by the way, Seneca. They're trying their very hardest to throw up the high ground. 13k in the net worth advantage, just barely keeping them healthy up there. As who needs the stable way of taking the game? You could have the risky as hell way. Destiny thought about taking the Tormentor, realizes no shot he's taking that one by himself. And again, look where Husker's playing. Just all the way up by the tier 3. This is just Tidehunter things, by the way. Captain nearly has a BKB completed for himself, so wanting to make sure he doesn't get picked off the back. I'm actually half surprised Captain didn't go for the Aghanim Scepter here, as would have gotten it pretty early, and dropping it onto these backline supports this early on could have been significant. Techies, looks like the Stampede ends up taking them down. Destiny looking for the kills forward, but the Ravage can be dropped forward as well. See if they can't find any of these kills, as Ursa looking to get involved, but just getting tightened a little bit. Ends up settling onto Amatsu, and that's a great first kill to find with the BKB. Giant Rat now up on the high ground, staying healthy for now, but starting to take some extra damage. It is Ursa falling low, nothing else to work with. The buyback from Amatsu, all of a sudden on top of the Ursa, Destiny falling super low, 200 HP to work with, but able to jump himself out, and it's Captain up on the high ground during this fresh BKB. Able to escape with his own life as well, and it's again by the skin of their teeth that Seneca able to get away from the high ground. No desire from them to wait out this next Roshan and take the game cleanly, as they'll continue fighting right inside of the Mississippi State base. Again, they did force a buyback out of the Dragon Knight, so it's not like this hold comes without cost for MSU. Now going to try and set up the smoke play, but they're fighting without the Dragon form here. It's still the Inkswell. It's going to connect onto maybe someone. At least it does find the Ogre. Not quite able to find Zeus on the side. And now see what more they can do, as the rest of the team does show up for MSU. Ursa lingering around. Blastoff does catch on to 2, and again, Techie's doing so much work in these fights. Double lift. Pops off that reincarn, but Destiny on the backside. Now he's in. Now he's able to clean up. It's a pair of kills each way, but Double Lift will end up being run down out of this one. The swap trying to keep him healthy, and actually, Destiny runs the wrong way. Gonna need to settle for the kill onto Promo, it seems. He will be able to find it. Captain is the one to take that kill for himself. Destiny chasing forward for more, but with no blink available, looks like he won't be able to catch up to anyone. 2 cores end up being the only survivors for MSU. Seneca up to 29 kills. It's just 14 for Mississippi State. Feels at this point, 25 minutes in, like it'll really take something for MSU to get back into this game. They're going to try for it. The Dragon Tail comes out onto Zeus, and that's a good find to start it off. Captain pops the BKB, but still goes down. Sufficient damage to be pumped through. As Seneca not in a position to take that fight, still waiting on that Ravage cooldown as well, and once again over ambitious towards the high ground, and MSU able to punish it this time. The road back into this game is long and winding, but that is a good first step for them. Zamatsu on the Dragon Knight, still staying relevant in this game. But as time goes, it's harder and harder to contest into Ursa. Let alone the Tidehunter, who is just an absolute menace. 4,400 gold in his inventory at the moment. See what item he does decide to go up for. A lot of options, too, for the Tidehunter to come through here. Looks like the Shiva's Guard going to be the choice, and a very logical one here against the 3 melee cores. Just look to even further make that wall and keep Captain safe on the Zeus. Roshan number 2 will spawn up in the top lane. This one once again should be taken down by Seneca. Mississippi State pinned over towards their own base. Just not able to get over here to contest at all. It's going to be Aegis and Cheese. Husker will end up with the cheese. Gonna be happy about that one. As he gets the Shiva's recipe delivered over to him. This team as well, he's 400 gold from the Shivas. And Seneca absolutely posturing like they want to just run up the high ground before he gets it. And they will. Destiny is not going to wait for anything. He's actually going to wait. Now that I've said it, right, he's going to wait. He is thinking better of it. Loose again, hanging out by the high ground. Has the fresh obs planted as well, and now it jumps up Destiny. Looking for it on the earth. The double lift is working with that reincarnation, though, so don't want to overcommit. Seneca will back off for the time being. Shiva's guard now being delivered for Husker as the blink as well. Ravage ready to work with. So it's going to be go time for Seneca. Destiny up on the high ground again. Starting off on the tower with the glyph. Going to force him back for now. Blink forward, there's the Ravage. It's going to catch on to the entire team. And what damage can you put in the blast off? It's going to catch on to 2 as well. Notably, Amatsu is forced to run away during that Dragon form. You want to be in on this Dragon Knight hero, sir, as the team buys back around him. Need to find something here. As the BKBs were popped from Seneca. See what they can get. Looks like the Aegis will be burned off from Ursa. Destiny trying to play his way out of here, and maybe not trying to play his way into here. It takes down Wraith King. Now swaps onto the backside. BKB will get him out of danger as Husker up on the top eats the cheese, and now looks like Mississippi State just running out of real estate. Pushed back behind their tier 3, pushed back behind their racks, all the way underneath the tier 4 towers. They will bring down the Ursa. Destiny tanking up too much from Amatsu, but he does end up going down at the end of it all as Captain able to pump the magic damage in. And it looks like that might just be enough as 70 seconds on the deck, no buyback. MSU just with support alive, and Husker, he's in, he's ready to go. Captain with the magic damage not even needed as the Shiva's guard will take him down. Just outside the fountain again.
Very proud of you.
They will retreat and take down the rack. It's not the building hitters alive for Seneca, but they don't really care. They'll get to work. Wraith King does respawn. Luce is in here with the mines, ready to take down this Rax. One red mine at a time. Double lift, thinking about going in. Still no reincarnation for 60 seconds. And Seneca will know this one. They'll drop the blast off down onto him, taking a lot of damage, and one bullet does just take him down. Dead for another 45 on the Wraith King. Been an absolutely horrific game for double lift, and it's a real struggle to watch him just continue to throw his life like this one, but at some point, what more can you do? MSU holding on to this one remaining lane of barracks in the bot lane. All that stands between Seneca and Mega Creeps. That and this tier 2 tower, which quickly taken down. Torments are going to be claimed before the next siege up onto the high ground. Here really comes your last engagement. Double damage grab for Amatsu. Looking for the wrap plays. He gets the Aghanims delivered to himself as well. Not quite level 18, but they'll take what you can get on short notice. He's going to look for the jump on the Captain, but simply doesn't have the damage to take him down before that BKB comes through. And now, can you really have the damage? Well, they're going to try and say yes, but the Ravage comes through on the backside. It's going to catch on to 4. And it's a pretty great find. Husker is falling low and will eventually be whittled. As Destiny forced to jump away from this one, but it's the MSU squad falling low now up on the high ground. Destiny, he's ready to turn, ready to go. Falling low again as it's Amatsu on this Dragon Knight, dealing the damage. 2 kills for the Wraith King. Buyback from the Ogre as well. Wanted to get himself back into this fight, but not able to get there in time as MSU do hold. Off the back of that double damage Dragon Knight, getting the Aghanim Scepter. It was a messy, chaotic jump, but hey, you'll take it. I mean, Zeus gets the BKB off, but kind of breaks the structure there as Amatsu on the backline doesn't just get jumped and killed off, and it ends up being a very nice Ravage. To kind of keep things in check for Seneca is MSU had some momentum, had some pressure in that fight. Holding on by the skin of their teeth, but at least you can call it holding on. As double lift with a couple of kills in that fight. So I'm pick up the blade mail as kind of this desperation need to do some extra damage and also help him stay alive in this game, as he's really been struggling in that department. But it feels like it just might not be enough, as Seneca's still up 20k in the net worth. It's another 5,000 gold banked up on the Tidehunter. See what he does decide to go for this time. Could even see him go for something like the Scythe of Ice this early on into the game. Could be absolutely devastating if you are able to catch the Dragon Knight. But Amatsu, notably, in this one, for the next fight, gonna have the Black Dragon form. He has hit level 18. Has that Aghanim Scepter in hand, as well as the Mantis. So it is the power timing for DK, a little bit later than you would have liked to see it, but it is here regardless, and it's pretty significant against this melee core in the Ursa. Destiny, meanwhile, gonna be working towards the Abyssal Blade. He started to feel kited a little bit on the Ursa in this game, and it's been harder for him to stick on targets as the game does go on. So the Abyssal Blade gonna solve a lot of his problems. Not all of them, as you still do have the Venge swap to contend with, but will certainly make things a lot easier for Destiny. You see he's got the Shard picked up as well, which is always a nice one on the Ursa. Might help him not get whittled as much in these fights, as we've seen Ursa forced to the outskirts a little bit sometimes, as Destiny can take damage. Even despite the BKB, even despite the Enrage. Ursa falls down about half HP. It's very hard for him to decide to go on these fights. For the next item coming through, it is going to be the BKB for the Dragon Knight. The Aghanim Scepter for Wraith King. The Wraith King is actually going to be very significant to try and squeeze some extra value out, especially from these supports like Venge, who, you know, no even dreams of an Ags this game on the Venge, as that is beyond the pale for a 6,000 net worth Vengeful Spirit. But the extra life during the Wraith form can give him enough time to get the extra round of spells off. The Magic Missile, the Wave of Terror, these aren't the longest cooldown spells, so can be quite significant. And ooh, I'm not too sure I actually like this build up for Rare Talent, as he's got the Aghanims queued up for the Grimstroke, but there's not a great carry to dump it over onto on the Seneca side. The Zeus Illusion, Ursa Illusion, and Tide Illusion all don't really get you there. Like to see even a Halberd potentially on the Grimstroke. It's a little bit unconventional, but I'd say a Hex, it's so hard to build up to a Hex in this game, but the Sonde for the extra status resistance could, you know, provide a little something extra for the Grim to try and stay alive in the back of these fights. Remember how I talked about that 5,000 gold built up on the Tidehunter? Well, Daedalus is going to be in hand. Didn't take the Anchor Smash affects buildings, though. Still, crits for about 1,000 with that Anchor Smash. Take a look over at Captain as well. Octarine in hand, Kaya Sange. On top of that BKB had picked up earlier. He's got the Shard as well, working towards the Lightning Hands on the Zeus. Mantis style build up. And Seneca this time, gonna make sure they're a little bit more disciplined about it, not going up the high ground for a third time without the Aegis. Gonna wait it out, and it will spawn in 45 seconds.
Gold and sweet.
But for now, Seneca content to grow their net worth lead They farm all around the map, and MSU pinned in their base. The exception of the Wraith King. Saving up for the buyback on top of this Aghanim Scepter. But yeah, importantly, clearing up some of these tier 4 items that have just spawned. Doesn't get a very good one for himself in the Havoc Hammer, but we'll grab the Aghanims and he'll head on home, having only grabbed the one neutral item. Roshan is available once again in the top half of the map, and it looks like Destiny is going to make his way over towards the pit. Yeah, he actually has the illusion in there, scouting things out. So it will be Roshan number 3, this time with the Aghanim Scepter, or the Aghanim's Blessing, I should say, available. See who they decide to give this one to. So I'd imagine it'll go onto the Ursa, make sure he's even happier up on the high ground during this potentially final push of the game. So no, they'll give it over to Tidehunter, so Husker maybe wanting to be the absolute highest net worth hero on the map, or potentially just holding on to it to give over to someone else. The fact that he hasn't used it makes me think it's going to go Zeus's way, but oh, see them dropping it around. Give it over to Techies for the minefield sign. This one is significantly less impactful, I think, this game. When you're trying to be more aggressive, it's harder to get these well-positioned minefield signs on the Techies, just because you have to channel for so long to put them down. But Luz, we're going to see what he's got with this new minefield sign picked up. Husker just blinks up to the high ground, starts whacking away at the tower. She's in hand and available, and Tidehunter, not a very easy kill to take down. Gonna try and initiate on him, but not really doing the damage. Instead, Techies gonna be taken down just straight away. The Giant Rat taking so much damage. Techies somehow still living through it all. Does eventually go down, and Giant Rat with the BKB gets off to the side. Ravage gonna be dumped over across an Amatsu. He's in so much trouble. Rooted up by the anchor. He's stalling so low. Look at the movement speed. It's so slow. Get him out of there. Get the dragon out. Not gonna make it. 75 seconds on the deck as the Wraith King in the Wraith form. Thought out on the front. Was trying to take down Ursa, but Age is still in hand, eventually taking down Giant Rat with the last-ditch effort. Try for the jump in, try and clean off some kills. He knows his other cores have no buyback. Has it himself, and gonna try and dump in what damage he can, but the rags will fall. It's gonna be 3 versus 4. Make it 3 versus 5 as Destiny still working with the Aegis of the Immortal. The next 30 seconds until Wraith King does respawn. Not the cleanest push from Seneca, but able to flex the might of their net worth here. They take down the they take down the racks. They turn their attention towards the tier 4 towers. Now they jump on forward towards the fountain, but oh, actually swapped them in. They're gonna burn out the Aegis. Does anyone have a force stop? No one's gonna have one off cooldown, and Ursa gonna be able to make his way away. Still, Wraith King spawning in 5 seconds. The tier 4 tower will go down. Been exposed to Ancient and MSU. One last desperate hold to try and take down these heroes before they're able to take down the throne. Wraith King caught over to the side, going for Captain, but not able to find him. And over on the other side, it's going to be Centaur taken to an early grave. Wraith King going to go down as well. Now it's just the Sports Amatsu doing what he can. Throne still pretty healthy over to the side, and the BKB from the Dragon Knight all of a sudden turning with a lot of damage. She's going to be eaten up by the Tidehunter, and SV able to just draw the attention, drag the Dragon Knight back down, falling super low swap, getting him all the way back to the fountain, gets him inside of the fountain. Still, they do have a couple of buybacks on the Sports MSU game. Not quite over just yet with the throne down to about half HP. There's no glyph. Destiny not quite hitting into it yet to lose the Ogre. Ogre is down in this one, throwing a quarter HP. Ancients so low. Siege creeps, they're taking it down. You don't need heroes to hit when the cards will do it for you. GG, well played. Seneca take the series 2-1 in what really didn't deserve to be that exciting of an end, but absolutely was. So that one's gonna have big implications. That one's gonna have some very serious games to watch going into next week, as MSU will drop to 3-4 on the season. and gonna still be fighting for that last playoff spot. Remember, they do have the tiebreaker over UCSD, so just to lay it out for you, is I'll pull up the standings one more time here. See if I don't actually have it open. Looks like I do not. But I'll pull up the standings for you one time. We can talk about it, because what does this mean? Well, UCSD go to 4-3 on the forfeit loss from UCLA. So UCLA down to 3-4. They're going to be out of the running, I do believe, for these playoffs. Seneca going to go up to 3-4 as well, and MSU down to 3-4. So we've got a three-way tie for the 5th place spot, and UCSD up a game. UCSD are playing up against the University of British Columbia, who you can see up at the top of the board there, 7-0, and I think they're on their way to making it 8-0 if they haven't already. I do believe they have a matchup coming. Yeah, I'm being an idiot, sorry. Playing up against UCSD, they do have that one matchup remaining, trying to make their regular season go undefeated. But because UCSD are matched up against UBC, if Mississippi State can beat IE, who you can see they have not won a series yet this season, they'd be 4-3 as well, and MSU, having won the head-to-head matchup against UCSD, would have the playoff spot if they do have a win. Now, the one wrench I can potentially throw into it is UCLA in their last matchup. So let me pull them up, because I've not done any looking into UCLA, right? UCLA will have a last matchup themselves, and their last match is against the Cal Poly Pomona Broncos, who you may or may not notice at the bottom of that league also have not won a series. So we're going to have a convoluted tiebreaker, and, you know, just to check the head-to-heads here, they did 2-0 MSU, and they did lose 2-0 to UCSD. So we've got some very interesting shenanigans that can happen coming out of this game. So I'll have to take a little bit deeper of a dive. But if UCLA were to win, MSU were to win, and UCSD were to lose going into next week, could have a nonsense tie. As well as Seneca. I didn't mention Seneca, but up to 3-4, they'll be up to 4-4 if they do squeeze out a win at the end of the season. Seneca are up against Michigan for their last match of the season, their last match of the regular season, I should say. They have beat MSU, so they'd have that head-to-head. They lost to UCSD, and they lost to UCLA. So, theoretically, with one game left in the season, we do have a potential 4-way tie for 4th place in the West Coast Division. So, all bets are absolutely off. I don't really know how that tiebreaker would go. I'll just, throw that one out there. There's some nonsense to be calculated with forfeits and all that as well. So, non-trivial, looking forward to the end of the season. But West Coast Division absolutely still heating up as we go into Wednesday night's matches. That's 4 teams fighting for that last place playoff spot. And I believe, just to throw the standings back up there, that Michigan at 4-3 are not necessarily out of the woods. If they were to lose to Seneca to go to 4-4, they could be pulled into the tiebreaker as well. So you have this world where you have 5 teams at 4-4, with UBC and University of Toronto maintaining their lead up at the top of the division, and then 5 teams tied for that 3rd, 4th place spot, and we could have absolute chaos. I would love to see that. Unfortunately, we're very unlikely, the way the tie breaks are laid out in this league, to see playoff matches or play-in matches. We do the order of operations, right, for the tie breaks. I don't have a handy graphic to show you like I did last season, but the order of operations, I might actually still. Hang on, let me check if this is still relevant. Yeah, look at this. This is the old format. As order of operations for the tiebreakers, right? Number 1, head-to-head matchup. Number 2, going to be the overall game differential. So that's your 2-1 series win-losses coming in. Third place does come down to forfeit. So, your forfeit losses do have something to say about it. Now, in the game differential, forfeit wins are going to count as 2-0s, and forfeit losses are going to count as 0-2s. So important to keep that in mind as well. And then if all of that is tied, right, we do end up going to the playoff or play-in match to break that tie. But based on how it's set up, because you have a round-robin scenario, the only way you get even to the second thing, where you're not looking at head-to-head record, is if you have a three-way tie, where it's kind of that circle-seeded Team A beats Team B beats Team C beats Team A, and you can't eliminate a team based on the head-to-head record. So look forward to Wednesday. I really, really, really hope there's no forfeits on Wednesday. We're going to do some hopping around the West Coast Division Wednesday night if all these games do fire on time, and if games do get rescheduled, I'll be making sure to bring you all of the games that I possibly can, as you know, this week. This is some of the more fun that we can have going into the playoffs. I think that we'll probably see in a long time out in NACE, as I always get excited for bonus Dota, and the 5-way tie, you know, it scratches that itch. But anyway, great win for Seneca, keeping them in the running. And Mississippi State gonna need to bring their A game back on Wednesday. I keep wanting to say next week, but on Wednesday, regular season closes out on Wednesday. I think we have a little bit of extra time allowed for reschedules, so I will try and keep people informed, but be on the lookout. I'll be streaming as many games as I can here, twitch.tv/CoolHandsDota, and we'll be keeping a close eye on the standings for the East Coast as well, for the East Coast Division as well, as we get the playoffs seeded and everything wrapped up. But that's all I've got for us today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in to both of our series today, Toronto versus Georgia Tech, and then MSU versus Seneca. Both of them did deliver, both of them pretty great. And thanks for listening to me ramble as well. I appreciate everyone's support, and I appreciate everyone supporting your favorite university teams. Tune in on Wednesday. We'll have more games for you then. Until then, stay happy, stay cool. I'm Cool Hands, signing off. Thanks so much for watching.